Hey there, grade 12s. You ever stare at a Newton's Law problem and just have no idea where to even begin? Well, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're going to unlock a tool that is, and I'm not kidding, your secret weapon for physics exams, the force diagram.
So let's just get right to it. How do you actually solve any of these problems? I mean, whether it's a box sliding down a ramp or a car pulling something, what's that one universal first step you should always take?
You know, the answer isn't some super complicated formula or a trick you have to memorize. Nope. It all starts with one simple but incredibly powerful drawing. This little sketch is the key to turning a messy physics situation into a clean, solvable problem.
So here's our game plan. We'll talk about why this is your key to Newton's laws, get clear on the difference between force and free body diagrams, meet the cast of characters, our common forces, and then learn how to draw the perfect diagram. After that, we'll tackle the infamous inclined plane and wrap it all up with your exam blueprint. Ready? Let's do this.
Okay, first things first, let's get our language right. You're going to hear two terms, force diagram and free body diagram. They're related for sure, but they are not the same thing, and knowing the difference is absolutely essential.
So think of it like this. On the left, the force diagram is kind of like the big picture sketch. You draw the box on the floor, the whole scene, and then add the forces. But on the right, that's the real hero, the free body diagram, or FBD. This is what we use for our calculations. We strip away all the background noise, turn the object into a simple dot, and we only, and I mean only, draw the forces acting on it. It's clean, it's simple, and it's where the magic happens.
So, if we want to get formal about it, this is the key definition. A free body diagram zeroes in on just one object, simplifies it down to a dot, and then shows every single force acting on that object as an arrow pointing away from the center. This is the diagram you're going to be drawing over and over again to solve problems.
All right, so before we can start drawing, we need to know who the main players are. You know, what are the forces that are going to show up time and time again? Let's meet the usual suspects.
Here's our team. First up, weight, Fg. That's just gravity, and it always pulls straight down, always. Then we have the normal force, Fn. Think of this as the support force from a surface pushing back, and it's always perpendicular to that surface. We've got friction, Ff, the force that always fights against motion. Tension, Ft, is the pull from any rope or cable. And finally, applied force, Fa, which is just any old push or pull acting on our object.
Okay, we know what an FBD is, and we've met the forces. So, let's actually put it all together. I'm going to give you a foolproof, step-by-step guide so you can draw a perfect free body diagram every single time.
It really is this simple, just 4 steps. 1, isolate your object. Just draw a dot. That's it. 2, identify all the forces. Go through a mental checklist. Is gravity pulling on it? Is it touching a surface? Is a rope pulling it? Is someone pushing it? 3, draw your arrows for every force you identified. Make sure they all start on the dot and point the right direction. And 4, the final touch. Label every single arrow. That's it. You follow those 4 steps, you're golden.
Now, stop for a second, because this is a massive exam tip. We only draw forces acting on our object. The force that the box pushes down on the table, we don't care about that. It does not belong on the free body diagram for the box. This is such a common mistake, so please lock this rule away in your brain.
All right, let's move on to the big one, the classic exam challenge, the one that really shows if you know your stuff, the inclined plane. I know it looks scary, but it just follows a few simple rules. Let's master this thing.
These 3 rules right here, they are non-negotiable. First, weight, Fg, could not care less about the slope. It pulls straight down to the center of the Earth, period. Second, the normal force, Fn, has to be perpendicular to the actual surface the object is on. It does not point straight up anymore. This is a big one. And third, friction, Ff, runs parallel to the surface, always fighting against the direction the object wants to slide.
And here is the pro move that makes the whole problem fall apart. That weight vector, Fg, is pointing in a kind of awkward direction compared to the slope, right? So we do something clever. We break it up. We resolve it into 2 smaller pieces, or components. One part that's perpendicular to the slope, which balances out the normal force, and one part that's parallel to the slope, which is what's actually trying to drag the object downhill. This is how we turn one tricky problem into 2 much simpler ones.
Phew, we have covered a lot of ground. So let's bring it all home. Let's boil everything down into a simple, clear blueprint that you can take into any test or exam.
This is it.
Your checklist for success. Number 1, always isolate the object. 2, make sure your arrows are clear and they all start from that central dot. 3, label every single force. 4, when you see a slope, pause and double-check your directions, especially for normal, force, and weak. And last but not least, practice. A neat, clear diagram makes the problem so much easier to solve.
Okay, time for a quick pop quiz. We have this idea that normal force is always equal and opposite to weight. But based on what we've just discussed, why is that not always true? Think about it for a second.
And the answer is because the normal force is a response force. On an inclined plane, only a piece of the weight pushes into the surface, so the surface doesn't have to push back as hard. Or imagine you're pushing down on a book on a flat table. The table now has to support the book's weight plus your push. The normal force just responds to whatever is happening in that perpendicular direction.
So let's end on this note, because it is the most important thing to take away from all of this. A correct free body diagram is not just a nice first step, it is the absolute key to solving any Newton's laws problem. If you can master drawing this one simple diagram, you've done the hardest part of the physics. The rest is just plugging in the numbers. Get the diagram right, and you are on your way to success.